The rule of money. Hello, and welcome to Viable Insight. The intriguing recordings we have for you regular. We should start, presently will we? Scholar and Irish legislator Edmund Burke once said, assuming that we order our abundance, we will be rich and free. Assuming our abundance orders us, we are quite poor. Also, this sounds valid in our universe of today where cash is accepted to be the measuring stick of achievement. For whatever our objectives and reasons perhaps, we frequently wind up caught in a labyrinth of procuring and spending, needs and needs. All in all, as we are stuck pursuing wealth, we could ponder, what are the secret mysteries of cash? How would you get rich? Well, in the present episode we will answer only that in what we've arranged as 14 standards that cash submits to. 1. Cash is procured through emergency. Money Road legend and Forbes top extremely rich person, Warren Smorgasbord once said that the key to getting rich on Wall Road is to attempt to be voracious when others are unfortunate, and to attempt it or covetous to be unfortunate when others. This guidance not simply applies to effective financial planning since it is during emergencies that sharp individuals spot amazing open doors and procure enormous since certain necessities become amplified encouraging interest while things become less expensive then, at that point. When everything has closed down, land is playing out its least fortunate and the stocks have failed, how precisely individuals bring in cash. It is during this time when the rich purchase resources, rebuild advances and construct liquidity. In the event that for instance, somebody deals to purchase a property esteemed at $1 million during an ordinary monetary circumstance for $750,000, the dealer may simply concur. Since nobody will purchase property during emergencies, the interest is low, hence the purchaser has seriously haggling power. Assuming a similar purchaser holds the property for around 2 years, he makes certain to create gains from capital acquires once the economy resumes to predictability. Similar applies to the financial exchanges. During emergencies, stock costs stagger, yet this will not endure forever. A great many people frenzy and begin selling as the costs go down, to abstain from losing anything. Yet, the well-off who comprehend the guidelines of cash-well-occupied purchase financial conflict doesn't endure forever, and they end up setting out the best open doors to expand your total assets. So set aside up some cash and contribute admirably when the following one hits. 2. Cash is a round of trade. Cash is made through a trade. Certain individuals bring in cash while others bring in cash. Doesn't seem as though there's a very remarkable contrast, however there is. You bring in cash when you exchange your significant investment for cash. All in all, you labor for 60 minutes, you get compensated for 60 minutes. Bringing in cash is the point at which you utilize your own significant investment and a touch of imagination once and get compensated again and again. For instance, when you make another item and get compensated each time it sells. In any case, for you to procure some pay it needs to come from one source into yours. For a business to make deals, the cash needs to come from the purchaser's pocket and into the business record. So to put it plainly, there must be some type of advantage that will achieve the trade. Thus, for you to draw in cash into your record, you must choose the option to make a type of significant worth for the trade to occur. 3. Cash draws in cash. This could be one of the best standards of cash in 100 years. At any point asked why the rich just have rich companions? It's not on the grounds that they would rather not spend time with needy individuals, but since their monetary status just draws in those inside a similar section. The vast majority frequently say the rich are glad and disassociate with poor people, yet in genuine sense, the two classifications share very little for all intents and purpose. Considering that, to be rich, you need to get to know the affluent. By having affluent companions, you'll gradually gain proficiency with their methodologies, embrace their propensities and become one of them. These individuals know how to bring in cash, have ways of life that increment their funds and are constantly encircled by open doors. 4. Cash is not difficult to get and harder to keep up with. Many individuals bring in cash effectively, however can keep up with it. To put this plainly allowed me to make sense of about the huge really take a look at disorder. Say a realtor sells a $6 million home and procures $200,000 in a month. For the following couple of months, he begins living like he procures that much consistently, yet as a general rule, he just makes around $17,000 month to month. This cash got forthright betrays the specialist into zeroing in general sum, consequently going overboard it. A great many people move past energized when out of nowhere a couple zeros show up in their financial balance. Rather than financial planning the sum astutely to twofold it, they spend it, changing their way of life, not understanding the augmentation is brief. Cash stays where it is supported and dealt with, making it more straightforward to acquire yet more diligently to keep up with. As per the Forbes list, consistently 80% of new muggles lose their status. Presently, isn't that something worth mulling over? 05. Cash loves mystery. Cash works best when mystery is involved. Ensure you generally have a mystery account. The standard is to continuously have a mystery account that no one knows about with the exception of yourself. Never uncover everything about your funds, consistently leave some measure of mystery. For what reason is this so significant? At the point when individuals know about your monetary status, they frequently make use. That is simply human instinct. I'm not saying you shouldn't help when your direct relations or companions are out of luck. Be that as it may, they will continuously request cash from you. What's more, when you won't help and they realize you have it, this might cause some hardship inside your connections. Yet, when you leave well enough alone, record it tends to be your lifeline if there should arise an occurrence of crises. Anything could occur out of the blue and you might require some money. At one time your business might risk liquidation and you might in any case need to pay representatives, or there may be an emergency that might request expenditure of unforeseen assets. 06. Cash loathes stagnation. I realize it sounds humorous, however it's valid. Allow me to make sense of what we mean by this. Cash loves being moved around, starting with one spot then onto the next. Very much like individuals, when cash is exhausted it becomes ineffective and may try and pass on, prompting misfortunes. Be that as it may, we should dig further into this briefly. For instance, assuming cash is siphoned into similar business without returning benefits, it in the long run becomes exhausted and by the day's end all you're doing is procuring misfortunes. A similar applies with broadening of pay. Cash loves being put resources into better places. By the day's end, you should simply sit and watch it run you from various bearings. Cash put away in a record is additionally essentially as great as squandered. Note that I don't mean the mystery account I referenced previously, that is for crises. You need to bring in certain your cash is moving near, working for you to procure you more. 07. Cash loves daring individuals. The fact of the matter is the more seasoned you get the lesser dangers you are probably going to take. For instance, a 23-year-old can stand to put resources into more unsafe venture choices than a 70-year-old. At the point when you are at that age your gamble resistance is certainly lower than when you're more youthful. Cash loves daring individuals, and assuming that you anticipate playing safe for your entire life, you could not very become famous. Incredible open doors generally accompanies a straightforwardly proportionate gamble. Thus, while you are as yet youthful, ensure you put admirably and go ahead with reasonable plans of action in all that you do. 08. Cash detests squanderers. In the event that you take out sugar from a container and don't supplant it, what occurs? The container will run unfilled. The equivalent for cash, it won't ever develop where it's continuously being spent. For each penny spent there must be a balance taken to supplant while possibly not twofold it. For most rich individuals who carry on with extravagant lives and can support it, they have set the required measures set up to renew the sums they go through. To be rich you can't fly with every available amenity, drive the most costly vehicles or own the best shadows, except if you have a strong channel of bringing back the cash spent. Here is my number one statement about saving by Thornton T. Munger. The propensity for saving is itself instruction. It encourages each ethicalness, shows abstinence, develops the feeling of request, trains to thinking ahead, thus expands the brain. 09. Cash loves legitimacy. Play your own game with regards to cash. Interesting and inventive thoughts won't ever need market. In all honesty, it sells and there is a serious absence of creativity in business, and organizations are defaulting to what they sell, rather than a big motivator for they. To be a business visionary, it frequently implies kicking the state of affairs and taking a thought you have faith in and energetically demonstrating its worth to the world. While you ought to get pieces of tips from fruitful individuals and attempt to gain from them, try not to attempt to duplicate for what seems like forever. In short, be legitimate. Curate your own monetary excursion on the grounds that no two individuals have similar conditions. Begin with what you have, get together tips from others and compose your own arrangement. 10. Cash loves to be controlled. On the off chance that we are frankly, cash loves to be kept on a rope. Never let your funds go crazy, or, more than likely, you will be in a tough situation. Have a record of how much cash you have in each financial balance and skill much is spent on costs consistently. On the off chance that you don't control your cash, it will control you. In the event that you don't decide the amount you can spend month to month, your cash will direct for you what you can and can't buy. Control your cash, or, in all likelihood, it will control you, and when this happens you could wind up in the red. What's more, couldn't that be terrible information? 11. Cash can never be the issue in the arrangement. On the off chance that cash is the issue, then it most certainly isn't the arrangement. Here's how individuals veer off track. They think since they are shy of some cash, getting more cash will tackle their issues. So what occurs? They end up in a twisting of getting increasingly more obligation that they truly can't bear. Rather than acquiring more cash to settle your ongoing cash issues, how about you look for extra kinds of revenue? That is the best way to take care of a cash issue. You can get a part-time job, find an additional line of work, or even beginning a business. 12. Cash doesn't change individuals. I know the vast majority of you will likely contend with this reality, yet it's reality. Cash and achievement won't transform you, it will just amplify what is as of now there. Somebody who becomes glad and egotistical out of nowhere subsequent to getting rich, has consistently been glad and pompous. Cash just let them be their actual selves. 13. In the event that you figure cash will satisfy you, you are down and out. Principal architect of the U.S., Benjamin Franklin once said, "Cash never made a man cheerful yet, nor will it." There isn't anything in that frame of mind to deliver satisfaction. The more a man has, the more he needs. Rather than filling a vacuum, it makes one. Cash can never give you joy, yet the things you can do with it will. They say cash is the intuition that causes you to partake in the other 5. The main explanation cash is in the image is on the grounds that we really want it to pay for all that we want to give us joy. Certain individuals contend satisfaction is independent and cash doesn't contribute in bringing it. Some say more cash implies more issues. I accept cash will add to satisfaction, yet it's not everything necessary to be content. Tell us your thought process in the remarks segment beneath. 14. Let cash work for you. Assuming you cautiously notice the rich and the unfortunate, you will find one critical contrast between them. The rich bring in cash work for them, yet the unfortunate work for the cash. A rich man will recruit the best personalities to maintain his business while he utilizes his opportunity to concentrate on methodology. However, an unfortunate man will go through the entirety of his opportunity to work for the rich. A rich man will have many floods of recurring, automated revenue, so he procures even without working, while an unfortunate man needs to attempt to make money. A rich man has an arrangement for his consumption and, surprisingly, a backup stash in the event that things go south, when an unfortunate man endures check to check and will go hungry if he isn't paid. The distinctions are totally clear. At the point when cash works for you, it will procure just more cash. I trust that checked out, and that is all there is to it for now. Thank you for watching. We want to believe that you partook in the video. Tell us your thought process in the comments. See you sometime later.